Okay, done. So in the last session, we were trying to execute the job called as collect planning data. Since there was some issue in that environment, it was read out. That's how it just we stopped the session. So now we'll submit the same job in the current environment. Okay. So here, what we have to do, we have to go to Navigator, right? And within the Navigator, go to supply chain planning. Under supply chain planning, we have a task called as plan inputs. Click on plan inputs and go to task list, and we have a task called as collect planning data. So select source system as a OPS and correction type. You can go with the net changes also, but when you run this first time, it's recommended to go with the targeted. So whatever we target for everything, system will update that information to sync the data in the order management process. So you may submit this for all reference data objects are selected. Okay, just let's select for everything, and supply planning data, that also you can select all, and you specify start date and end date for this. And date you may specify till today, means between these dates whatever the data updates happened in the system, whatever we created, that information should get updated in the planning system, which will be available for order management process. Fine, just click on submit, say okay. So to see the job status, we have to navigate to ESS job page. Go to schedule processes. So we know very well it takes couple of minutes time, so we have to wait for that. So these just names you could see as a extract Oracle Fusion entity data, right? First system has to extract, then it will load. Okay, extract and load. There are different jobs system will submit for each and every data reference which we selected for this process. There are many child jobs system has to process. See, now you can see the extract process completed. Now system is loading the same data into planning tables. Okay, once this load process completes, we can proceed with the next step. If you want to see the detailed tasks or detailed jobs, you can go with the flat list. Fine. Here we can notice that the collection job set status is succeeded, and it is just triggered another job called as purge staging tables. So we don't need to worry about it. Let it purge. So, but what are the job we require that got completed? Okay. Now we'll go and check. We'll just proceed with the next step. Fine. Let's see this. Still running. Focus to delete. So we submitted this job and completed without any issues. Now we'll go and create the sourcing rules. Fine. Go to navigator. Under supply chain planning, just select the task called as plan inputs. Go to task list, and here we have a task called as manage sourcing rules. Click on sourcing rules. Say create. Just provide the name. Google sourcing rule. And click on sourcing rule effective dates. Click on add. System will default the today's date. We can accept the same and scroll it till down. Click on add. Say transfer from, and here we should be able to find our inventory organization. Because of this collect planning data, system has to populate it. So just type with the G, it should fetch. So this is our inventory. Google US inventory organization. Select and say OK. And here you can say allocation percentage is 100. Ranking, any ranking you can give. Shipping method we created, we can, it's not mandatory, you can ignore it. Wherever it's required we can do it. So we just completed sourcing rule. Say save and close. Done. What is the next task? Set up sourcing assignment set. Go to task list. Okay. So manage assignment sets. Go to this task. Say create. Here what we could do is search for existing. So there are many assignment sets which are available, and this is a seeded value which you could see in any environment. Okay, global order promising. Click on edit, because you can just look into that information, and you can use this, or else you can create new one. What we have to do is just we have to include our inventory organization within this sourcing rule set assignment, and this we have to set as a default through profile option. Okay, so in every environment you can see this global order promising as a sourcing rule set assignment. So within this we can include our business unit, our inventory organization. What you can do is, once you click on here task, we have as manage assignment sets. You have to click on search, or else you can search for global. The same here you could see. In the fresh instance also you can see that default one, global. You can search for global. Click on edit. Just we have to add our inventory organization in this list. Click on add, place cursor here. So select organization. Our inventory organization starts with Google G, GUS, Google US inventory organization, and sourcing type, sourcing rule. We created sourcing rule, right? That we have to select here. Just now we created one sourcing rule, that is Google sourcing rule, that you can select. Now within this set assignment called as global order promising, we have our inventory. So this global order promising assignment set need to be set as a default through profile option. Okay, that will go and see now. Say save and close. The same global order promising need to be set as a default sourcing set assignment value. We'll go and see that. So use this profile option. So go to task called as administrator profile values, right? Go to setup and maintenance. Go to task list, click on search. Search for administrator profile values. Manage administrator profile values. Search for the profile option, the profile code. Here set global order promising as a default. It's already there as a default because this is a seeded value in every environment. The same is set to default at site level. This is what we need. Just verify, cross check. So in which set assignment you included your inventory organization, that need to be set as a default profile value. Okay, done. So the set sourcing rules set assignment we done through this profile option. Now we have to create the ATP rules. So available to promise rules we have to create. So let's go to supply chain planning and click on order promising. Go to task list. So here we have a task called as manage ATP rules. Fine. Then click on create and say Google ATP rules rule. The ATP rule criteria you can select the last option, and go to ATP rule assignments tab and click on add, and then what base you can specify. That may be organization base, item base. You can give the specifications. So you can select our inventory organization and say save and close. So in case of EBS, these all setups we don't need to perform to work on auto management related process, I mean O2C cycle. But here they just made all are mandatory. Otherwise, this items information, organization information, all the details won't be available in the O2C process. So that is the reason these all became mandatory. So after completing this setup, again we have to run the collect planning data and we have to submit the refresh and start order promising server job. So now what we could do is we'll go to collect planning data, but we don't need to run this for all the reference data objects. We'll go and see that. Instead of going to navigator, you can expand here. Go to plan inputs. Go to task list. Say collect planning data. The last time we submitted for all the reference data objects. Now we'll submit for very specific. The net changes. You can the first time already we submitted. Now we can go with the net changes. The selected information only it will get updated. So say we want to update item data. Already we done, but not required. It's a best say after completing those setup, best thing what we can do is just we can select very primary objects and we can run it. Or else you can select all and you can submit. Okay, but it takes more time. That is the reason I'm not selecting. So I selected under reference data, items, organization, sub inventories. Go to supply planning data. From here I'm going to select only on hand quantity, submit. It won't take much time, hardly 2 to 3 minutes time, because we selected overall 4 or 5 reference data objects. Go to schedule process. Its extraction is completed. All the data it extracted based on what we selected. Now it will load. It's loading. Fine, it's almost done. Okay, let it purge staging table data. Okay, that we don't require at all. So that is system process automatic will trigger and it will purge the data which is used in this process within the staging tables. Done. So now next task is, so whatever the collect planning data we submitted, the same data need to be refreshed. We have to submit this job. So refresh and start order promising server. Okay, you can just run from here only, but before that refresh this ESS job page. Same navigation so that the page will get refreshed and you can submit the new job from there itself. So what is the job name? Refresh and start. Search for refresh and start. select this job. If you place the cursor, you could see the name. Refresh and start the order promising server. So what it will do? It will refresh the data used by Oracle Fusion Global Order Promising Server and start the order promising server. Okay. So so what are the data we have as a part of this order promising server? Okay, the data it will just get updated in the order promising server. Just in the earlier whatever the collection process we submitted, because of that it will happen, but we have to submit this refresh where the system will keep available to use in the OM process. Fine. So which data you want to refresh, because there are different parameters. Okay. So internal transfer order we don't require, purchase orders and requisition not required, on hand primarily required, and ATP rules we required. The fulfillment lines, okay, it's related to sales order related lines, and sourcing and the calendars information what we have in inventory, and the item information, organization information. So which information need to be updated, that you can select here and you can submit, or else if you are doing it first time you can go with all parameters you can select. Okay, and you can submit it. Then say submit. Okay, this job also takes few minutes time. Okay, we'll wait for that and we'll continue. Fine, now we can see the status as succeeded. So we're done with all the required setups and we submitted required jobs. Now we can proceed with the next step called as sales order creation. Fine. So now we'll see the process of sales order creation, validation, booking, pick release, and ship confirmation. Finally, invoice creation in receivables. So to create the invoice in the receivables, first we'll go and verify the AR period status. You have to open the AR periods and auto accounting. So auto accounting we have to configure for all account types in receivables. So we'll check these 2 points. First we'll go and we'll verify the auto accounting for our business unit. Because to create the automatic auto invoice, it's a mandatory auto accounting should be completed for all account types. So we'll check it. Task is auto accounting rules. So click on go to task icon. First we'll check for our business unit for which account types this auto accounting configuration is completed. For only two type of accounts, receivables and revenue. For rest of all, we have to complete them. Fine, it won't take much time. Just we'll go and complete it. So Google US Business Unit. We'll go one by one. Only for two we completed receivables and revenue. Rest of all we have to set up. Select company. Department. So now which account we have to select? Auto invoice clearing account. If I'm not sure we have all accounts in this. So what we could do is we can go with some random accounts. Use any one of the account just to complete this setup. Anyway, we know based on this account type we have to select account. But in this environment, in this value set, all accounts may not be available. So select any one of the account and say create another and go to next account type as bills receivable. Select company, select department, select account called as bills receivables. So here we are testing, you can go with any account, no, there won't be an issue. So create another. Next account is deferred tax. Select company, select department, select account. So create another. So next account is factored bills receivable. So company, department, account, select project. So create another. So next account type is freight. So select department. You can provide the freight account. Just click on create another. So receivables already we completed. Remitted bills receivable. So create another. Revenue, yes, we completed. Select tax, select company, select department, account, project. Say create another. So unbilled receivable. So company, department, account, unbilled receivable account. But here just for testing we are giving random account. And say create another. And unearned revenue. Select company, select department, select account, project. So create another. Unpaid bills receivable account. So fine. So we completed auto accounting configuration for all type of accounts which are available as a part of auto accounting tools. Done. So create another not required. We just done with everything. So finally you can say done. Say save and close. And make sure that APP receivables period is open, because when you process the sales order that will turn into auto invoice creation. System will look for the period status. So go to receivables, accounts receivable task, go to task list. So task name is manage accounting periods. So if you place the cursor on this ledger, it will display this ledger is associated with which business unit, for which business unit of receivables we want to open the periods. Right. So the first period is John 18. So now we can proceed with the sales order creation. Okay, so go click on home icon. Right, we assigned already required roles. Okay, the roles which are required for order management is order manager. Before we complete the pricing setups, these three roles also assigned. For everything we given the data access. Okay, BU access we given for those four roles. Now we'll go and create the sales order. So click on home icon, and here you could see order management springboard icon. Click on order management, and here click on create order. So select customer. Customer is Google customer. So Google customer 1. Select, and here the bill to customer whatever system displays, that is nothing but the account description which we provided at customer level. Okay, when you create the customer, system creates the account, but it won't create the account number. It won't create the description. We have to add the description. The account customer account description field they mapped with the bill to customer field. Just make sure that you have provided account description, so that same will be defaulted here. Okay, done. Now select item, here order lines, click on search. See, here we have an order type. It is optional. It doesn't have any functionality, just for information purpose you can have it. So the item, search for item. Item is Google 1. Description is Google item 1. So select. Basically, once you select that item, it should default the price. Here we defined the pricing, right? Pricing setup we done. Based on that, system has to take the information. It has to take the pricing. 1 second. View pricing strategy. So corporate pricing strategy is coming. How come it is coming? Just in our setups we given Google pricing segment, right? Google pricing strategy, but it is taking corporate pricing strategy. That's wrong. Go to pricing setups. So pricing administrator. Manage pricing strategy assignment. Yeah, same, right? Google pricing segment, Google pricing segment. Yes. Yes, I'm removing rest which are not required. So in case of this pricing setup, what happens if you do some changes, it follows catch process. Okay, so to avoid the performance related issues, we know that Oracle follows that catch process where the changes will get synchronized, updated by taking some time. So here, if you notice, we given Google only. This pricing segment is Google pricing segment. Status is Google pricing status. But system is defaulting the different one. Sequence, any sequence you can take, nothing wrong. Pricing status you also. Everything is fine. We'll try once again. It's taking corporate pricing strategy. Okay. So it takes time to update it. That's how it works. Google pricing strategy only we have. So there's nothing to do with this. It's all about the same we have here, right? Google pricing segment only we take. This precedence anything you can give. If it is going to be same, you can it will work. I mean, the sequence it will look for. Anyway, it's a unique pricing segment definition. Shall not required also. But we created our own pricing segment and accordingly we defined this. So sign out and sign in, and we'll try once again. Go to order management. So create order. Google customer one. From here we can specify which pricing related status and segment is getting applied. Still corporate pricing segment only is coming. That value also be deleted, but it takes some time to get updated. Okay, we have to wait for some time. Even if you change the pricing setups also, it takes time to get updated. Any changes we did. Now we didn't do any changes, but the additional values we removed. Okay, so same. Only we have our definitions. Okay, only the point is we have to wait for some time. Same, it's reflecting status as a corporate pricing status. Yeah, that's wrong. So one thing we'll go and verify. This customer pricing profile will verify if it is matching, and still if it is showing, only the option is we have to wait. So this is how we have. This is how we created customer pricing profile. Strategy. pricing segment here, revenue potential. In case of a customer, what we given revenue potential high. So customer size large, customer size large, customer value high, high, customer rating very high, customer rating very high. Five, five. So everything is matching. Okay, only the issue is the synchronization is not happened. We have to wait for some time. Okay, think let it take its own time. No issues. Normally, this is what happens. This updates and all. So basically, system has to default our pricing strategy only, but it is taking that corporate. So that might be the previous one. It's not reflecting what we did. It will take some time to get reflected. Before that, we'll just try once again. Okay, corporate pricing strategy. That's what it is defaulting, which is not ours. Okay, it should come as a Google pricing strategy. Okay, so it's not taking update. So we'll try just. So we'll see the tomorrow session. It will happen like meantime it will get updated. So we don't need to do anything. It takes some time and it will complete automatically. So I think on that we have some. I think I have some documentation also. One second. Okay, basically this is a document which talks about that data caching in case of fusion pricing. It won't sync immediately, it takes time and you may just go through it. This document you can find in the Metalink also. You can just search for Oracle Fusion pricing. You can find this document here. They just explained about how the caching process works. If you do any changes or normally how it takes time. So everything they just explained. Okay. So we have to wait for some time. It will get updated. Then we can proceed from there. Fine. We'll connect tomorrow. Okay. In tomorrow's session, this sales order creation and auto invoice creation, it won't take more than 10 to 15 minutes. Once we're done with that, in tomorrow's session itself, we'll start working on cash management. Okay. We'll finish cash management in tomorrow's session. Then we can proceed with the fixed assets. That's how we can close as soon as possible. Okay, that's all for today. We'll connect tomorrow and we'll continue from here. Any questions from anyone, please?